Hey guys, Clumsy here and welcome back to ETS2. I just couldn't get enough of trucking again once I got back, so here we are again, 2 days after the previous episode, up for another job in another contract in World of Trucks, so we can get started, so we can continue on the event. Right now I have like 1 out of 12 in the Christmas event. This is the second one we're doing, and we're going to deliver Christmas candy canes. We'll be starting from Riga, and then we'll be going to Sweden, I believe. It's going to be a long trip actually, so it might take 2 episodes for this entire job to finish. We will see though. We will see what I can manage. But yeah, I was thinking I just do a couple of ETS2 episodes because I have a lot of stories to tell during the holidays, and so might as well just keep on trucking with you guys. By the way, I think I should be raising my axle here. So most of the mods that have been activated in the previous episode are still there. I did change it a bit though, so a couple of things. I did enable the heavy winter variant from both Grimes and the more snow option for the next gen textures winter add-on. So it's like heavy winter mode, although to be honest I don't really notice much difference yet. I think it's mainly because we're in the Baltic region. Maybe once we go into the Scandinavian region, maybe that's where we'll see the winter add-on from the next gen textures. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so far things are looking pretty good. And I did enable as well the winter physics from Grimes, so it might be a bit slippier than usual. I hope we don't get a chance to find out, but I have a bad feeling about this, so I'll try to go slower than usual. But we'll see. Eventually my clumsiness will shine through, I'm sure. And right now we're just traveling across Riga to get to where the pickup point is. So right now we're how do you call it? Bobtailing it. Yeah, and that's why I raised my axle as well. Just getting there. On top of that, you might notice a bit of more bobbing in the cab because I did enable the physical camera now in the gameplay settings. And I enabled Momo's air seat as well, so there should be a little bit more bouncing happening. Look at how slippery that road is. I just enabled my retarder a bit and I started slipping out there. If you notice that mild slippage. Traction is not very good in these roads. It's a bit scary actually. But yeah, that's going to be adding some excitement to this trip, I'm sure. Maybe too much excitement for my taste, but it's going to be pretty realistic, I guess, with the winter in full effect. I do love the view though. Look at that view. Look at that skybox. So good. Perfect way to start the journey, right? Or should I be staying? I think I should be staying here on the left. Yeah, because that one is exiting on the right. So anyway, so we won't do any Q&A in the next few episodes. Instead, I'll be focusing on storytelling mode, and so hopefully you enjoy. And if you can relate to any of these stories, let me know. If you have stories of your own in the holidays, over the holidays, let me know as well. Would be fun to get to know them too. So where should I start? I start off in the beginning, I guess. Start off in the beginning where start off with packing. I think I mentioned this a bit already. So it's been a while since we had to travel for more than a week. Usually when we travel it's only just 1 week, even for the Christmas season. So we were usually like spending like a few days, a week at most there, so we didn't really need to pack that much. But this time we traveled, how was it, December 15 to January 2. That's like 15, 16, around 18, 19 days maybe, something like that. and it was quite a challenge to pack stuff. Like I had to almost empty out my closet because I needed to pack all my clothes, all my stuff in there in the bags, and it wouldn't fit anymore. We had to get like extra luggage. Good thing we had that handy weighing scale for the luggage, so we're sure that we are getting just the right amount, not going below, not going above the check-in baggage that was purchased. But yeah, throughout the travels we get to, wow, that is a bit drifty. The physics is real, guys. I'll try to speed up a little in the intersections, in the corners, so we get a little bit of a glimpse of how the physics works. Like that. Okay, so far so good. Not too slippery there. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Good thing we didn't hit any signs, but yeah, if you enable your retarder at such a strong level, you start spinning out. And I'm not sure if that's realistic, if that's really how it is in winter, but I guess that's not too far off. My goodness. Yeah, so retarder, we cannot go overboard with it. And this is still without a trailer. How much more with a trailer? Will probably be more unstable then. Man, look at this. Look at this view. If only we had a trailer, I would have taken a screenshot by now. So I really should be careful about slowing down here and turning. No sudden movements, which I guess makes a lot of sense. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so yeah, packing was a challenge, and we also had a lot of stuff, some goodies from Switzerland, which we wanted to bring home to Manila for our families. We ended up like, I think all in all, the luggage that we were carrying around 43 kilos of stuff with us. So lots of things, lots of bags, lots of shoes, clothes for different occasions, and we had to like attend the wedding in Manila, so we also had to bring our formal stuff with us. So yeah, that added to the baggage for sure. Man, look at this. This looks so good. And yeah, the roads are really snow-filled by now. Oh, slow down here. Yeah, you can hear the water jug just bouncing through and through, because I'm, I guess, at the point right before drifting, where traction is at its limit. I think I can stay here. Yeah. Okay, finally, I think we're getting to the place where we're picking up our trailer. And yes, I had a look at this trailer. It's like 700 kilometers land distance and 200 kilometers by ferry. So it's going to take probably 2 episodes. Slow down, there we go. That speedo thing is very useful. So you get like an early warning before you actually slip out, before you actually get caught by the speed radar. Oh yeah, I remember the trams here. Very nice. Very nice look, doesn't it? Isn't it? Oh, I don't think we'll make it. Oh crap. Yeah. Stop. No. Dang it. Might as well go forward. Yeah, it's the physics, the slippery physics. Cannot just brake abruptly. The traction will not hold. There we go. There's our trailer. I'm hoping this time we fit in. I'm not really sure how we do that though. If you remembered from the previous episode, we had a bit of trouble with this. I do like the design though. It's pretty funky. And this time it's blue, so it should go a little bit better with our paint job. Let me try first without raising that middle axle. Or lowering it rather. Let's see if it works this way. Does it? Yeah, I'm still... I don't know. I'm a bit too high there. Probably something to do with Eugene's Volvo. If we lower that axle, I think it will work better. At least that's how it worked last time. Yeah, look at that. It's a bit weird how that works, right? It's like when you raise the axle, the truck goes higher. And I don't know if that's realistic at all. Cables are attached, we're good. Yeah, not too shabby. Feels really festive. Let's have a look at the route. Okay, so we have to go back the way we came from, that's fine. But we go through the opposite way and then we go to Ventspils, if that's how you pronounce it. Take the ferry, cross over to Sweden, and then make our way through to Gothenburg. That's 978 kilometers including the ferry ride. Let's see where we get to. We'll probably have to cut this into something like that. Okay, so on with the story. I guess. Oh, interesting. Actually, can raise the trailer axle as well. We don't need to do that though because we do have 20-ton load, so I think we can make use of all the axles of this trailer. We'll just lower them all, keep them lowered, so we distribute the weight as evenly as possible. Anyway, on with the stories. So after the packing conundrum, then we went to the airport for our flight. Everything was smooth, but we did not go the usual route. So normally we would have a direct flight from Singapore to Manila. But this time, of course, because Christmas is like the biggest holiday in Manila, in the Philippines. It's a time when the family really goes and does their best to go home for the reunions and everything. It's like Thanksgiving for the US folks. Christmas is our Thanksgiving. It's the biggest holiday ever. So everyone tries to go home, and because everyone tries to go home, the tickets are super expensive. Super duper expensive, like 3 times, 4 times more expensive than usual. And because we kind of bought our tickets late, because it's hard to lock in the schedule from a very how do you say, months in advance. We bought it like 1 month before, like November, maybe late November or something like that. And so the ticket prices were sky high. My goodness, they are as high as we've ever seen it. And to work with that, what we did was to look for cheap flights, even if we had to go and do like one stop in addition instead of a direct flight. We found a flight that was like $200 cheaper, but we had to go through Malaysia. Malaysia is just like north of Singapore, so it's like a 1-hour flight from Singapore to Malaysia, to Kuala Lumpur, to be specific, KL. So from Singapore to KL, 1 hour, and then we had like a 2-hour layover, and then we flew to Manila, which is like 4 hours. So all in all, it was like what? Oh crap! Slow down! Slow down! Oh no 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 no! Losing traction, losing my grip. Yeah, I have to be a little bit more careful now with the trailer at my back. Thankfully, there were no other vehicles, so it's only the Ego which got hurt. Let's take a photo here. I think this would be a nice one. This one right here. Bridge shot, of course. see. And voila. Yes, let's have a look. I think that can work pretty well, although there are too many trees in there. I think this one looks better. Or maybe this kind of looks like the previous screenshot though, but I guess it shouldn't be that bad because I do like the sky a lot. Let's get a wider field of view here and maybe angle it a little bit differently, like that maybe. Yeah, I think that can work. I think that can work. One sec. Let's take one like so. Let's take one like that one. A little bit more dramatic. And let's take one last that is facing like this. Yeah, that's not too shabby. Actually, anywhere you look is good. But it's just picking the best angles. Okay, let's do this. Slow down for the roundabouts. Fence pills, straight ahead. By the way, thank you for the comments on the previous episode, guys. Happy to see that people are back as well. Happy New Year to everybody again. Thank you for the greetings. And happy to see that some people are actually using Waze as well. I mentioned we use Waze extensively in the Philippines, and apparently it's also being used in other countries too. So that's good. So it's not too exotic. It's getting into mainstream more and more. So where was I? So we had to, in terms of the flight, we had to go through KL. So instead of the direct flight, which would last around 4 hours, we had like what, 7-8 hour flight all in all, including the layovers and everything. So a few additional hours, and we were able to save $200 each. So that's $400 for both of us, me and Mrs. Clumsy, which is not bad. It was additional hassle, but save up a few more bucks to spend when we get back home. Yeah, it's not too shabby. Man, I'm loving what I'm seeing here. The textures, the views are just so nice to look at, isn't it? Full winter vibe. I love the textures. I don't know anymore which one is from Next Gen and which one is from Frosty Mod, but I do like what I'm seeing. Oh yeah, I did a bit of testing, and apparently the roads, even though Damien said that he didn't touch the Baltic DLC, apparently these are from Next Gen, because when I removed the Next Gen Winter add-on, the road textures change, even here. So this is from Next Gen actually, because the ones from Grimes look a bit different, and I think I prefer this more, so I'm keeping it. Anyway, we'll see it. We'll see the full Next Gen Winter textures in their full glory, I guess, when we get to Scandinavia, when we get to Sweden, because I think that's part of what Damien changed, the mod author for Next Gen textures. Stick to 70. Yeah, that's correct. Keep it there. So the flight itself was pretty smooth. It was kind of long, but not too bad. And it was like in the middle of the day, so we didn't have to wake up early or whatnot. Just enough, just the normal timing. And then when we arrived in Manila finally, man, there were so many people. This is how it always is, because as I mentioned, Christmas is the most look at the bob of that cab. Yeah, the head bobbing and whatnot. I like it. Looks so natural, doesn't it? Oh crap. Why did it say that I was beyond the speed limit? Do you see that? It was like the speed was in red when I was only in 80. 80 was the speed limit during that part. I don't know, maybe it was weirded out. Okay, that's how we should be slowing down. We should be slowing down really gradually. Like a kilometer away, we should be slowing down already. So we don't slip. But that's nice. It adds a bit more challenge and realism to the roads. Okay, so yeah, when we went to Manila, so many people in the airport because everyone was going home, and people were there. Each of our families were how do you say, waiting for us at the airport, fetching us from the airport. So yeah, really lots and lots of people. But it was fun in a way. It was kind of chaotic with all the people, but it was kind of fun and homey to see that oh crap, yeah, the family reunions were happening as early as in the airport, and it's just a very warm and fuzzy feeling. But so we arrived there like 15th of December, and during the week of December 17th we didn't have we didn't have like the Christmas parties yet. Some of them, but mostly what we did were errands. It was like the non-fun stuff, because whenever we go home to Manila, where we're originally from, we have to take care of the paperwork from all the adulting stuff that we have not been able to do because we are living abroad. And some stuff you have to like be present physically, and so we try to group them all together when we go home. And that week was mostly filled with the not so fun stuff, the serious adulting stuff still. So I'm not going to bore you with that, but I will share a bit about the driving. So I got exposed again after a long time to Manila driving. I got to drive in real life again for, I guess the last time I drove was in March. So it's been what? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, 9 months since I last drove in real life. Something like that. So it took a bit of getting used to. And because everyone was, during Christmas, everyone goes out of their house and brings their own car. It's filled with people, so much traffic, so much bumper to bumper action, and it was very stressful in the beginning. So much so that when I had to drive and take the car out and go do some errands, the next day I got sick. Literally, I got a fever from all the stress that I got. I guess it's the temperature, it's the change in the air quality, it's the stress of the traffic, it's the lack of sleep from the travel. All those things piled up, and it just was too much for my body to handle, so I got sick. And I lost like a day or two because of it. But more on that later. I wanted to share a bit more about the horrendous traffic situation. So a lot of things have been done or have been tried by the government to ease up on the traffic. Oh crap, slow down. This clumsy trucker is really taking his time. Is this Alex? Is this Rohan? Who is this in front of us? If this is an Iveco, then that's Scotsman. Yeah, so a lot of things have been tried in Manila to alleviate the traffic situation. But at the end of the day, it's really just the volume is just the limit. There's only so much you can do to improve the roads. You know, if you have too many cars on the road, then there is nothing else you can do. There's only so much you can do to help it. And that's the problem right now. There are so many cars and a lot of experiments. Oh, come on. Yeah, I was like 100% stepping on the brakes there, but it wasn't enough. What kind of horn was that? Go already. Stop the drama. I hit you, fine. But you're probably used to that by now because we're clumsy truckers anyway. Okay, he's not moving. I think we have to do some evasive maneuvers here. Or maybe invasive maneuvers in our case. Let's get out of this. Try to avoid that guy. There we go. Nothing happened here, Mr. Officer. Just a bit of a drama queen there. So yes, a lot of things have been tried, and right now in Manila there is what we call the odd-even scheme, the number coding, so to speak. It's, in my opinion, it's a very inefficient way of trying to control the traffic. It's not really solving the problem. Ooh, train! Very nice. Man, the engine sound is so good, isn't it? EVR. Sounds very real. And that bounce. Yeah, cabin bouncing for the win. Love it. It feels more natural. So we have what we call the number coding. Number coding is something like so we all have plate numbers, right? And number coding is basically looking at the end, the last number of the plate, the last digit of the plate number, and seeing if that is odd or even. No, sorry. That's not odd or even. It's number coding. It's so depending on the last digit of your plate number, you are prohibited from using it on a certain day of the week. Like every Monday, those with plates ending with 1 and 2 are not allowed to be on the road. 3 and 4 Tuesday, 5 and 6 Wednesday, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So that is the basic rule that applies to all the roads. And it's not very efficient, in my opinion, because people will just basically buy another car and use their other car when their other car is coding. And granted, not everyone can afford 2 cars, but I mean, in Manila, the cars are very affordable, very low down payment, very long payment terms. So cars are very accessible. So most of the people have 2 cars anyway. If you have 1 car, usually you can afford 2 cars, something like that. So it's not a very effective way to limit the cars. Maybe some people will get affected, but many will just switch. So it's like more of an inconvenience rather than a real solution, in my point of view. Man, this looks so good. I have to take a screenshot of this. I don't know why. Everything just looks so good here. Like that one. Must be the blending of all those, the road textures. Look, that looks so good, yeah? So crisp looking. And the skybox from foggy weather. Yeah, the trees, a little bit snow-capped trees. That looks so good. Man, sorry, I was just admiring the view for 1 sec. Okay, yeah, so number coding in my opinion isn't really effective, but fine, it's there, and maybe it helps a little bit, but it doesn't solve the root cause of the problem. It's like a first aid, maybe not even that. Okay. I think we're almost at the ferry, the port. This is a very nice view. Maybe you can take another photo here. The very unique looking, oh crap. If we stop here, will the bridge rise? I don't think so, huh? Because it's blinking. Yeah, I think it will wait for us. Yeah, the boat is there, just waiting. Okay, fine. Let's go forward a bit. And let's watch this very rare occurrence. Okay, the ship is starting to move now. Okay, barriers are going down. And the bridge should be... It's a drawbridge, isn't it? Is that what you call it? Something like that, I think. Let's take a photo. Photo showing everything. Is that possible? Is that too much to ask? Might be too much to ask. Looks like a Lego. looks like a Lego contraption from this view. I think we need it a bit close up. Maybe from this side. Yeah, I think that works better. Drawbridge. Show a bit of the bridge, the ship, the truck. Yeah, that works for me. That's nice. Don't get to see that every day. Okay. So yes, there's the number coding. And so we have to plan the logistics of which car to bring, depending on when we have to go out of the house. Otherwise we would be stuck at home. And public transport is not very efficient in Manila. There is, of course, but it's a bit unreliable at times. So I would always prefer to drive my own car. And back when Uber was still in the Philippines, that really changed. Because you didn't really need a car anymore. You could just get an Uber very easily and go to where you need to go at a very affordable price. Because taxis were very unreliable, are very unreliable in Manila. Lots of negotiating, lots of shady practices, so I don't trust them so much. But Uber was a different thing. But then Uber had to leave. A Southeast Asian based company called Grab basically it's kind of bought Uber or something like that. So Uber had to leave Southeast Asia, and so there's like a monopoly now of the ride sharing. It's mainly just Grab who is controlling the ride sharing business. So the service level went down because whenever there's a monopoly, that is the usual occurrence. No competition means the only supplier left is able to do what they want. There is no drive to be better. You're here finally. Very nice view. Very nice view. So yes, number coding. So we had to plan with that. And what really got me, I think what really got me the fever was there is a specific city in the Philippines called Pasig. P-A-S-I-G, Pasig City. And the officials in Pasig are very creative, we could put it like this. They are very fond of experimentation. And what they did, and this is just insane, because when I last drove, I don't think it was there yet. So a lot of new policies have been implemented. Look at the bounce there. Wow, that's crazy. Are we still bouncing until now? Okay, not anymore. Good. Okay, crossing over to Sweden. Let's have a look how it looks there. Bit redundant, you get the point. Christmas candy canes. You have to get that. to the destination. I think we can sleep first though. If there is a rest area nearby, so we get a bit brighter daytime. Yeah, it's very gloomy in these parts. But let's see. Maybe we'll find something. So yeah, there is this city called Pasig where the officials are very creative and they think of so many different regulations on top of the number coding to try and control the traffic, which in my opinion doesn't work at all, but fine. So first thing, they implemented a lot of bike lanes, and bike lanes in general are good. I like them. Promotes bikes and keeps the people on bikes feeling safe because they have their own lane, but I think it is not for everybody. It's not for every road. The roads in Pasig are very small, very cramped already as it is, and adding bike lanes just cramps it even more. So I'm not really in favor of that, and I don't think we're quite ready for bike lanes yet, in my opinion that is. Because the bikes, well, not many people use bikes yet, and it's quite polluted outside, so you don't want to stay out anyway so much. But I guess it's like 50-50. There is some good in it, so I'm not so much against that, but it does make the roads a little bit more cramped. Makes the small roads even smaller. Like imagine like this kind of road and having a bike lane on the side. Something like that. So it's really cramped. And man, look at this. Feels like we're in Iceland now. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we need to sleep at all now though. There is still enough daylight. We have 459 kilometers left. I wonder if we can finish it in one go. We'll see. Maybe we can make this a long episode. We'll see. So yes, they added bike lanes in Pasig, which is okay, fine. Maybe there is some good in it. Maybe that will promote more bikes usage, less cars. That switch hasn't happened yet though. Fine. But what really ticks me off is that they added even more regulations on top of the number coding scheme, which I mentioned, the 1-2 prohibited on Monday, 3-4 prohibited on Tuesday, that kind of thing. They added an odd-even scheme, but only on certain specific roads inside the city, inside Pasig. So there are specific roads where on top of the number coding, you have to also respect odd-even. And odd-even is like, until now I can't remember it. I cannot wrap my head around it. On top of the number coding, you cannot go on these roads. For example, if you're 02468, if your last digit of the plate is even, you cannot go here on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then if you're odd, you cannot go through here on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Can you imagine how confusing that is? You have number coding, you have odd-even, and you have odd-even only on specific roads. Yeah. And that just really ticks me off because if it's your first time driving there, if you're not used to the road, you will get caught. And they enforce that really. They get a lot of tickets there, and I guess it's a big source of revenue for the city because they get a lot of violations with those. Maybe that is their aim, to get more people committing mistakes so they earn more. I don't know, but it really is insane. So there is number coding, there's odd-even. My goodness, this looks so good, doesn't it? Road textures look so good. Although I don't see where the line is anymore, but I guess that's the point. When it's snowy, you don't have full visibility on the lines. You just kind of get a feel for it. Eyeball it. Okay, there's the line. I can see it finally. All right, there we go. So yeah, and that's not all. But wait, there's more. There is a specific road in Pasig, just like one of the main roads. So we have number coding already. We have odd even. We have the bike lanes on the side, and then this main road in Pasig, there is the I cannot believe it. There is the carpool lane, and carpool lane is not new. This concept is not new. I know it exists in like in the US. I remember in California, in LA, I think they had it. It's not in some of the interstates. I remember there is the carpool lane. And in this street, the carpool lane you need to have like 4 people at least to use it. If you didn't have at least 4 people, you could not use this lane. Fine. But there were only 2 lanes. It's like this road. No, it's less. It's narrower than this road. Yeah, that main road is narrower than this. Slow down. There's an accident up ahead. That was interesting. That car was that had his hazards turned on. I guess because the truck in front was slowed down or something. My goodness, it feels so slippery. So the road is narrower than this, and this right lane, this outer lane, is a carpool lane only. So most of the cars will actually need to stay on that lane, and this lane is more or less empty. So it's like, so you have number coding, you have odd even, you have bike lanes which make the lane narrower, and you have that carpool lane which makes basically makes it a single lane. And my goodness, the traffic was terrible. The traffic was terrible in that place. It was like the worst ever I've seen. It's like, I feel like whoever is in charge of the regulations in that city maybe went to Europe, maybe went to the US, saw these fancy schemes like bike lanes, carpool lanes, and all of them have their own uses. They're very useful if done properly. I think I'm in the wrong lane here, huh? Are these 3 lanes? Should I be staying here? No, I think this is the shoulder. I think we will have 2 lanes or something. Yeah, I'll stay here. It feels to me like he went to Europe, saw these, or in US, saw these fancy schemes, and just went home and said, okay, let's add bike lanes, let's add carpool lanes, let's add odd even, and all these kinds of things, without really thinking or analyzing. That's how it seems to me, and it just doesn't work. My goodness, it just doesn't work. I hate it, and I got really stressed out about it because when I drove there, I was expecting just the number coding, and then I found all these additional signs, and what's more, the signs weren't really legible. Like, there was so much text in it. By the time you read those signs, you would have gone inside already. Like, it says, okay, no left turn Monday, Wednesday, Friday for even plate numbers. By the time you read all of that, you would have turned left already. So it was not legible at all, and you had to be knowledgeable about it before you even went in. Yeah, you cannot just wing it, basically. And the carpool lane was there on this outer lane, and it didn't have the necessary markings, you know, when merging in, merging out of the lanes. There was no indication. Like, if you, for example, let's say I'm on this inner lane, right? And then I needed to turn right somewhere, so I needed to go on the carpool lane at some point, because if I have to exit there, then I have to move here at some point, right? But you didn't really know when you could do that, because the line separating the two lanes was a solid line, which appeared like you could not cross over at all. It didn't transition to a broken line at some point right before the intersection, which would signify that you can merge in already. So something like that, something to that effect. There was nothing like it. So there were rules like 60 meters before the intersection, you can merge in, but not before, things like that. Now, to be fair, after a few days, I was discussing this. I was really ranting about it with my family, with my friends from Manila, and everyone was saying, well, yeah, but no one really implements that anymore. Like, the carpool lane is there, the road signs, the road markings are there, but they say that the cops, the police, don't really catch anyone, don't really check for that anymore. But I mean, how would you know that, right? If a cop suddenly decides to enforce it, he can, because it's there. Legally, it's part of the law in that place. All the road signs are there, all the road markings are there. So even if you say, well, that's not implemented anymore, no one follows that anymore. But if someone is in the mood to implement it, to enforce it, then you can get caught at any moment, right? So might as well just follow it. That's my opinion, to be on the safe side. Look at that super moon at the back. Very nice. So yeah, I really hated driving there. Really stressed me out. And on top of that, that was a day when I had to do errands with the banks. And with the banks, at least in Manila, in the Philippines, the banks are not so flexible. I guess everywhere they're like this. They're very strict. They're very there are lots of requirements. They are not and you have to follow the requirements to a T. If you miss one dot, if you miss one dash, or if you have a single missing thing, you cannot get what you want, and you would have to go back. And they asked me to go back. So after enduring all that traffic, after enduring all those funky regulations on top of each other, the bank is asking me, okay, you have to go back tomorrow because your requirements are not complete. Oh, and I think that was the tipping point. The next day I got sick and I had to stay in bed. I had to sleep the entire day. I lost a full day because of it. And then after I got sick, Mrs. Clumsy got sick because I guess the virus spread over to her. So I was sick for one day, and then after I was okay, she got sick. And so we lost like 2 or 3 days in total because of each of us getting sick. Yeah, it was crazy that week. That week was crazy, definitely crazy. And yeah, I just cannot rant enough about it, about these insane schemes that people come up with. And this is why this highlights even more why Waze, the app, is essential. I can be like sponsored by Waze now. If someone from Waze is listening, maybe you guys can sponsor me. I can add like a Waze GPS app here. That would be pretty good, right? Like, imagine the GPS, imagine this channel sponsored by Waze. That would be so cool. That would fit so much with our channel. Yeah, because without GPS, imagine this like that, I would have no clue at all where to go. But with Waze, like that, we have a fighting chance. And yeah, in Manila especially, Waze is essential because of all these regulations. And what's cool about Waze is it's very dynamic. So the street names, like what I mentioned about the odd-even scheme and certain roads only, these certain roads are mapped in Waze, and they have that description, like 02468 plate, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. There's like that distinction, so you know, even if it's asking you to go left, there's that description that tells you that, okay, But you can if you have a plate like this, you cannot really go left. So there is a warning already, and that is super helpful. That is super useful, and that's really something that I have been using extensively while I was there. Oh crap! Oh rip! Oh, made it just in time. Phew! I was trying to balance braking gradually and braking enough to not hit the car, but not braking too much that I actually lose control because of the slippage. Okay, I think we did it properly this time. My goodness, yeah. I think I'll be doing a silent trucking episode right after this one, because I'm really enjoying driving through these snowy roads. And I need to rest my voice a bit because I've been really going all out with my storytelling in this episode. And I think this will be a quite long episode. We have 200 kilometers to go, and we're almost an hour in, but I think we'll do it an extra long one, just because I'm really enjoying this. And I love telling you my stories. And if you're not fed up with it yet, we're happy to listen to some more. So yeah, I'm happy to hear what your comments are about it. Maybe the regulations, maybe the schemes do make sense. Maybe I'm just not seeing the effect because there are so many cars already on the road. And maybe if these rules are not there, then maybe the cars will be even more so. So maybe there is some use to it that I'm not seeing. If there is, let me know in the comments. If you agree with me, let me know as well. I'd be happy to have discussions with you. I'd be more than happy to hear your side of these things. And I know I'm driving across the wrong lanes here. I was probably driving through the shoulder a lot of times, but with the snow-covered roads, I think it's the best I can do. Okay, something like that. Okay, good. Man, it's really bouncing in here, huh? It feels like I'm slipping at any moment. Yeah, now it's getting really dark. What time is it anyway? 4 a.m. and it's super dark. Wow. Okay. I guess at 9 a.m. sunrise will happen again. But yeah, this, even with the night in full effect, it still looks very good, doesn't it? The light flares just add so much to the game. The lens flares from foggy weather really just make things so realistic looking. The reflections are just right. Oh, that is so good. Okay, but yes, okay. So, I think I am happy enough with my rant. I was able to share with you my rant enough. Hey, look at that. The road marking would not be enough. The road sign is essential to have an idea that the road is cutting off. Because when the snow covers the road, you would not see the arrow anymore. So the road sign would be very important. But if the road sign gets filled with snow, then there is no choice. You really have to keep your eyes peeled. But at least you have more chances of seeing the road getting cut off, right? And yeah, these signs that the road is getting cut off, that the road is merging, these are not so famous in the Philippines. You barely get to see them. In highways, in the newer highways, you get to see them, but in the normal roads, in the old existing roads, it's up to you. The lane will just cut off out of nowhere, and it's up to you to merge in. So it really improves your driving ability in a way. You have to be super attentive. You will not be warned beforehand. And it's crazy. So people who drive in Manila, you would have to be very, very brave to do that. I think the only place where you would be braver is if you drive in India. I think Manila is like the second where you would need to be brave to drive properly. But yeah, with Waze, you get to have a fighting chance at least against traffic, against those funky roads, and against those funky regulations at least. Slow down a bit because I'm seeing a bit of build-up up ahead. Looks like even the cars are slowing down, which is interesting. Oh, it might just be an illusion on my end. Yeah, probably. Let's stay on this lane. I think this is the right lane. Can we sleep maybe? Wait. If I sleep now... Let's try it, huh? Yeah, let's try it. We have 93 kilometers to go, but maybe if we want a change of scenery, we can go and sleep a bit. It will be daytime, hopefully, when we wake up. Because right now, even if it's 5 AM, I think the sunrise will be still at 9 AM. But probably when we wake up, it's going to be sunset again. With how short the daytime is during these days. Maybe I should have done this way back. Okay, right now 2 PM, that's fine. There we go, at least it's sunny now. And because it's a World of Trucks contract, the ETA is in real life. The remaining time is 18 hours real life. So it doesn't matter how many times you sleep. In game, as long as in real life you get to finish it in 18 hours. That's what I like about these contracts. Good. Let us continue. And let me stay in my lane. Normally the AI cars would slow down during these emergency events here. And I guess it kind of makes sense, but it's just kind of hard as well. Because they just stop. They just slow down suddenly. And you have to anticipate that behavior. Although we've had discussions over it in the YouTube comments that maybe it is realistic after all. Because it is not some cars, like sometimes it is required by law depending on the country that you slow down. Oh bro, okay, thankfully he was not eating up my lane. I was getting scared there. Good. But yeah, it's really bouncy, huh? With air suspension from Momo and the more slippery physics from Grimes, I think it contributes to a very, very bouncy feel. Might be a bit too bouncy, but I'm kind of liking it. It's not too bad. I don't think we need headlights now. And having headlights makes it really shiny, blindingly bright on the road. Look at how snow-filled this is. It's full-on winter here. Although it hasn't rained since, which is interesting. Would have been interesting to see a bit of rain here. Because I think with the foggy weather December add-on, the rain has been changed to snow as well. Because normally with Grimes' add-on you get snow, but because I have foggy weather, it reverts back to rain. But then foggy weather itself has a December add-on, so it would go back to snow as well, supposedly. Not sure though, not exactly sure, but eventually we will get to see it. And eventually we'll have a chance to see it. Very nice tunnel. Yeah. ETA? 33 kilometers, 33 minutes. That's good. And yeah, you would get that kind of thing in Waze as well. It's actually very accurate. Normally with like Google Maps, when it gives you an ETA, a duration, you would have to like add like 30 minutes more or less to the ETA, and that would be the real time you would arrive. With Waze, it's usually like within 10 minutes or less, down to the minute sometimes. It's very, very accurate most of the time. And I think Waze has been purchased by Google a few years back. I'm not really sure why they haven't integrated it yet. But yeah, it shows the promise of the app itself. So yeah, I hope someone from Waze is listening, because I'm very much open to a sponsorship. Oh, what is this guy doing? I have no clue. I think he was a bit shy. This is so good, isn't it? It's a bit gloomy in a way, but because we have beautiful skies, it becomes a cheerful winter morning. Well, afternoon in this case. But it becomes very cheerful. It's not too gloomy, thanks to the skies that we have. Very colorful, bright skies. So yeah, with the rant ending, and with the promotion for Waze ending, where would we be? Well, it was the holidays now, the proper holidays after the errand week, so to speak. We can get into the actual reunions, holidays, and whatnot. But I guess we do that in the succeeding episode, because we are here already. And that would be quite a long story to tell. We made it in one piece. Almost. Bit of damage on the trailer. Not sure if that's because of me. Probably because I hit it when I was trying to couple with it. Squeeze in. Thank you, Mr. Officer. Where are we delivering this to anyway? Polaris Lines, okay. Stena Lines, I think it's the real life company name. From ferry to ferry. Okay, how do we do this? I think I can just make some kind of U-turn here. See if we can do that. I think that can work. It's a bit of a blindside reverse, but not too sharp. So it should not be that impossible, I think. That was a bit too sharp though, I think. Yeah. Still haven't gotten used to the reversing again. Will take a bit of time. Everything is super bouncy, huh? Must be the suspension stiffness. Not sure if the suspension stiffness is working pretty well with the winter physics. Is that the way? That's a bit far, actually. Yeah, that's a bit far. Not sure if it will buy that. Maybe. Let's see. No, I think it's too far away. Okay. Let's reverse it properly, like so. Yeah, I think that works. Because it's so bouncy sometimes, I hesitate to step on the pedal too hard. Good. There we go. Thank you. Ah, nice. Made it. One hour, 6 minutes. Not too shabby. 843 kilometers driving. I like it. That's actually pretty good, huh? And now we are 2 out of 12. Nice. After I do this, we'll have to do the ATS1. But one step at a time. In any case, that's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, comment, share with your friends, and all that stuff. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Clumsy trucking, everybody, and I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Thanks and bye-bye. Let me toot my horn inside. Clumsy trucking.